What is up, everybody? This is Jay with YAIM Gaming, bringing you my synopsis and review for episode 14 of season 5, titled Sprint. Wow, what a freaking great episode. Action-packed, lots of killing and deaths going on. Woo! Let's get right into it. So, we start off with our crew going out on a run. It includes Aiden, Nicholas, Eugene, Tara, Noah, and Glenn. 6 people going out on this run. Eugene was a little hesitant to go right off the bat, but they told him, look, we'd rather make one run than have to come out, go back, you know what to get. But anyway, they were fixing the solar panels. Something went wrong with them and the power went down. Luckily, there would just happen to be a solar distribution center right in town. Of course there was. I mean, why wouldn't there be? It's TV. God forbid they have to travel fucking 100 miles to get something. So, they're going to this warehouse to get what they need to repair the panels. They immediately jump out of the van and they're like, I got a plan to get out in case something goes wrong. It's called run out the front door. Glenn talks them into securing the perimeter, make sure they have their ways out of the building. So they all go inside, and they're checking it out, and you see a bunch of zombies hidden behind a wall or behind a fence. They can't get out. They're searching. Eugene and Tara find the panels or the parts that they need, and they're getting them out of the box, while Aiden has a zombie that is in riot gear coming at him. He shoots it 3 or 4 times. It drops to the ground. This is when Glenn notices that the thing is laced with grenades on its vest. In turn, Aiden shoots the grenade. Big explosion. Knocks Tara unconscious where she has bleeding from her head. Everybody else is knocked to the ground. Aiden is thrown back onto some pipes that impale him. I don't know what it was exactly. It looked like just some pipes on the wall or whatever. One caught him through the shoulder. One caught him through the gut. They think he's dead. They all kind of go and hide in this office for a second. They get Tara, pick her up, put her in there. Eugene wraps something around her head, or somebody wraps something around her head to kind of control the bleeding. He at that point says, we need to get her out of here now. Now, I don't know if they actually grabbed the parts at this point or not. I'm guessing they left them, so this is going to be something they're going to have to go back and get. Now, Nicholas at this point says, man, let's just go. And Glenn says, we can't leave him. Even if he's dead, we have to bring back the body. So they go over there and they find out he is not dead. He is just impaled onto these pipes and stuff. They go to pull him off and he's screaming and stuff. But then the walkers start to come and Nicholas bails out on him. What a fucking coward this guy is. And I think coming up we're going to see some shit with him. But I'm going to talk about that in a little bit. The zombies eat Aiden, of course. They can't, Aiden tells them to go. He also tells them that the reason that the other 4 members were dead that he had spoke of are because him and Nicholas ran. And they left those guys. So that kind of puts the weight off of Glenn's shoulders that this guy's dying. He realizes he is a real douchebag. And nobody wants a douchebag. I got something on my fucking face here. What the hell is that? I got some kind of spot, man. God damn it. Got oil all over me from work. Anyways, enough about the spot. I'll just show you my good side. So anyways, they're running back towards the van. Eugene carries Tara on his shoulder, taking out zombies like he finally grew a pair of balls and can actually kill something for a change. Gets Tara and puts her in the van. Meanwhile, Nicholas, Noah, and Glenn are trapped in one of those roundabout doors. Fucking A. They got a plan to come out. Eugene shows up in the van and starts leading some of the zombies off. He's blaring the horn, playing the music, this, that, and the other, trying to lure the zombies away. At this point, Nicholas' character freaks out and just runs, which kind of opens the door, and Noah is grabbed and killed by zombies. Real heart-wrenching kind of moment as you see Glenn watching through the glass as Noah is basically torn apart by the zombies. Terrible scene for him. Good scene for The Walking Dead in general. I want to know down in the comments if you're happy or sad to see Noah go. I'm not very partial to the guy. He wasn't there too long. He was a decent character. He didn't have a lot going on. They kind of set him up in the very beginning with him meeting with Reg and wanting to learn to be an architect. And Reg wrote in the book, this is the beginning. And we didn't realize what he wrote in the book until later on when they got back in the van. So then that Nicholas character runs towards the van and tries to get Eugene to just leave, where Eugene just puts the van in park, turns it off, takes the keys, and goes to pull his gun where the guy knocks down Eugene. Glenn shows up, right cross, knocks the dude out. They pick him up, throw him in the van. It's not in Glenn to leave a guy, even if it is a douchey-ass son of a bitch. So he still had to put him in the van. And you can tell he did because when they're riding back home, Eugene's looking like this over the corner with a gun pointed at him. Tara was in the van unconscious. That's the last we see of them. We're assuming that next week they will show up and we'll get to see the fallout from this little incident. In the meantime, back at Alexandria, Rick realizes that Jesse's statue was torn up, and he says, well, I gotta have something to do, is figure out who did it. And nobody seems to be worried about who did it. And then we get to see Carol and young Sam in Carol's house, and he's wanting her to make some cookies. She tells him he has to go and steal some chocolate, one for the cookies and one for her, if she wants him to make cookies. If he wants her to make cookies, excuse me. So he comes back with the chocolate, and he tries to start up conversation with her. She is very unwilling to talk. She says, we're not friends. He says, we don't have to be friends, but it doesn't have to be quiet. And so this is when she realizes that he is a victim of abuse, because he starts asking, well, why did you take the guns? In which Carol replies, well, for protection. And he says, well, can I have a gun? She says, what do you need protection from? He says, he doesn't really say, but she gets the idea that it's not for him, it's for Jesse to take care of herself, that her father is, that her husband is abusing them. Carol goes over to their house, in which Pete answers the door and won't let anybody in. You can tell he's doing something fucked up, in which she goes and tells Rick, who has already met with Pete. Pete came over to Rick's house drunk, rambling on about, give your kids a checkup. Nobody gives a shit about this guy, man. He's as good as dead. Carol tells him that she thinks Pete is hitting Jesse and maybe the children. And she says, there's only one way to really deal with this, and you have to kill him. And you see Rick like, rah, So there's that. In the meantime, Gabriel. Now let's go to Gabriel. He was in the very opening scene of the episode. You see him go into a garage where somebody has set it up almost like a church for him, a little altar. They got a Bible sitting there, and somebody left him some strawberries, said, we are blessed to have you here, Father. And it was from Rosemary. Oh, maybe he has a secret admirer. Who knows? Bloody well. Anyways, so Gabriel then starts to tear pages out of the Bible. Later on, we get to see Gabriel again talking to Deanna, telling Deanna that these people are evil, that she should not have let them in the gates. Maggie overhears this conversation of him telling us. Now, I wonder what the repercussions of this will be, and we'll get into that in just a second. Let's go ahead and get finished with our synopsis. We only got one more thing to talk about, and that is Abraham. Abraham, one of my favorite characters on the show, possibly one of my top favorites in the comic books. Too bad he's dead in the comics. Spoiler alert. Abraham on the construction crew, when they see some zombies coming and you see him getting in the zone, man, he takes charge out there. He makes sure that everybody is safe. He's taking out zombies left and right by hand. He's taking them out with the gun. And then Tobin wants to cut it and go home for the day, where Abraham says, nah, there's 3 hours of light. Let's get back to work. Tobin goes back to Deanna and says that Abraham should be in charge of the construction crew. And I agree with this, because Abraham is a much better fighter and he can lead people. He's got that military background, that military training. He can control people and get them to do what he needs them to do to get the job done. He's a good choice for that. But Deanna is a little second guessing on this about putting so many people in power in the community from Rick's group. She's a little worried about this. We didn't get to see much of Daryl and Aaron, but we did get to see them leave basically on a scouting mission. Maybe we'll see more about that in the next episode. So, that is what happened in this episode. If you want to let me know down there below, again, what you thought about the episode, what you thought about the deaths, and how it will affect people, let me know. I'm more than happy to strike up conversation with everybody. Now, for what I think is going to happen from the events that happened in 514 spent into what will happen into our bumper episode to the season finale. So we got the crew coming back from the run. Iden is dead. How will Deanna react to Iden's death? How will her husband Reg react to Iden's death? You saw in the preview there were 4 graves. 4. Now what's odd about that is there was only 2 people dead. Now we know they did not bring back the dead bodies, obviously because they were eaten by zombies. Do they have a mock funeral, or a mock grave for Iden and for Noah? Or are those 4 other people that we don't know about? How is this going to affect her? Is she going to lose control because her son died? Is she going to freak out and try to kick Rick's people out of the area? What is going to happen there? I personally feel that Deanna is going to start to break down. Her husband is going to try to comfort her. Maybe she goes off the deep end. There's a couple of ways this could go. She could put Rick into power over the entire community, or she could feel the need to get rid of them. Now, based on what Father Gabriel said, does this change her intentions at all? Does she take what Father Gabriel said with a grain of salt? Does Maggie say something about him being a coward? Which she should. By all means, she should step up to the plate and say how cowardly he is. And say what he did to his own people in the church. How he locked the doors and would let nobody in. This shows his true character and how he really does not give a shit about the people that he is with. The people that saved his life and got him to where he is right now. This guy needs to get killed. End of story. Let's get him off of the show. There's nothing good that can come from him in this entire series. He has played his role out. It is done. I say we find a way to get him off the show. Start a petition now. Down with Gabriel. Now, is Tara going to be okay? We also know that Pete is the surgeon for Alexandria. This could become a problem. Now, Rick is going to want to confront Pete, but I have a feeling the way they're going to play it out on the show is that Rick is going to go and try to say something to Pete. At that point in time, the van is going to show up and they're going to need medical attention for Tara. So he is not going to be able to do anything about it right then because they have to have him. There is not another doctor in Alexandria at this point. So they're either going to have to find one or we're going to have to do something. We also are going to wonder what is going to happen with Abraham and the construction crew. They're trying to expand the city and build more. Is Deanna going to allow him to stay in power of the construction crew, or is she going to make somebody else be in charge? Now, let's get into some action that we might see in the next episode that was not kind of foreshadowed in 514. Now, in some of the sneak peeks, we got to see Sasha up in the bell tower looking out with the sniper rifle. We know that's a good spot for her. We also got to see a scene of Carl and this girl Enid out in the woods, just kind of hanging out by themselves. When some walkers come, they kind of cozy up into a hollow tree. A little interesting scene there. I wonder what's going to happen between those two. Is there a love interest for Carl? Carl's also going to be on The Talking Dead next week, so there may be a little bit more to the story, and we'll sit to see that. I think what's possibly going to happen is they're going to have to go back out on this supply run. Deanna is going to be pissed. She's going to make them go get the parts. She's going to say some bad things, and some shit is going to go down inside the walls of Alexandria. Rick is going to confront Pete. He is going to say something, but only after he makes sure that Tara is okay. Because not only does Rick care for Jesse, but he has to care for the members of his group more so than the members of Alexandria. So I think his first priority will be to make sure that Tara is okay. After that, he will catch Pete coming out of the doctor's office or whatever they have there. We haven't seen it yet. And he will say something to him. I hope we get to see some images of Daryl and Aaron out on the road scouting people. It looked like it from the preview. They were out there, but I think they're going to find the wrong people. Many have speculated about the walkers we've seen running around with the W carved into their forehead. I think we're going to find out this group. We have heard speculation around the interwebs, take that with a grain of salt, that they are going to be called the Wolves. I know that in the comics, There was a group called the Scavengers. They weren't around very long, like 2 or 3 issues, and they were taken care of very easily. These guys could be that Scavenger group from the comic books, and we will see. The finale is coming up, and I've heard word that the finale will be extended to 90 minutes. So let's see how it goes. Hope you guys enjoyed listening to me talk. If you are new, by all means hit that subscribe button. And be sure to hit that like button. It really helps me out. Make sure that I put out the best content for you guys. All that being said, I will see y'all on the next one.